What's going on, people? Well, welcome back to Invictus. Tonight, we've got a very special video, a kind of a sit down, Dr. Phil, Invictus to you guys, little chat, because I get asked so many times, how did you start supporting the Borough? How did it begin? Where did it come from? Obviously, being an Aussie, there's, it's a crazy kind of story. So I thought I'd share it with you tonight. Share a couple of pictures that I took of myself back at Borough when I went to visit the only game I've ever been to, and yeah, just sort of do a bit of an introduction to all the new people that I've come across as well. So it kind of started in 2004. I met a friend. I was playing AFL. Grew up on AFL. My dad was a big AFL player. He played for the local team, and everything about my life was just AFL. I hadn't really heard of soccer slash football. And then I met a mate that was right into it, and he was a Blackburn supporter, and he sort of got me into the sort of field of it. Then I kind of fell in love with Mark Schwarzer. That was the beginning. Mark Schwarzer was on the scene for the Socceroos at the time. He was making some big plays, and I ended up getting a Mark Schwarzer goalkeeper jersey or kit for Christmas, which I wore endlessly. And then that was it. I was in love. I fell in love with the Borough. I was still in school, so I wasn't able to watch many of the games, but I'd always watch the highlight reel. Back in the day, I'm not sure if you remember, there used to be a Premier League highlights that came out sort of weekly. We used to get them on our pay TV here, and I used to watch them endlessly for the Middlesbrough games. And obviously, YouTube was kind of coming onto the scene and stuff like that, but it wasn't that big. Anyway, I fell in love with the Borough. I loved Mark Schwarzer. I loved Mark Viduka. And I was just loving everything about the Borough. Then in 2009, I had the chance with the Australian military. I'd left school. I went and joined the Australian military to go over to Middlesbrough in a bit of an exchange program. I was doing some training over there before deploying to Afghanistan. I went over to Middlesbrough and I spent some time there, and I just absolutely fell in love with the place. I just couldn't get enough of it. The people were amazing. The town was amazing. I was in and out, obviously, with training and stuff like that. But every time I was there, it was incredible. And then a couple of the guys there said, "Let's go and see your first game." And we did. We went across and we watched Middlesbrough versus Blackpool. We lost to Blackpool on the day, and I'll share some photos with you now of that experience. But it was just something that I would never, ever forget. And I just knew, even before then getting there, that I was a Middlesbrough fan. The connection I had with the club, with the town, the people just felt so perfect. The story, my great grandfather and my grandfather were also iron workers as well, and there was just so many like symbologies that just connected me to the club and to the place that I knew I was a Borough fan and I was in for good. After coming back from Middlesbrough and there, I just obviously got into it as much as I could. I ended up still staying in the military, and then about 6 to 7 years later, I ended up having to medically retire from the military due to my shoulder. I was injured in Afghanistan. A story for another day, but I was injured in Afghanistan, and that's why I'm sort of medically retired now and able to sort of sit here and do some content for you guys. I stream on Twitch. I do the YouTube as much as I can. I do my sports reacts. I love my sport. But Middlesbrough's up there as my pinnacle team, and I just love reacting to them. And everything you see there is either me watching the live games or the highlight reel is just me being me. If I was at the live game, that's what you would see me doing, because that's just who I am as a person. And even though I'm now restricted medically, I'm trying not to let the sort of the medical diagnosis slow me down at all. I'm trying to keep up with the pace of everything, and I'm finding my way on the internet. And actually, the love from Middlesbrough and all the fans around the world has been incredible. That's my story of kind of how it started. I still love the Borough to this day. All the Australians we've had over the years, including my best mate now, Riley McGree, has just absolutely cemented how much of my connection with Middlesbrough. There were obviously a few years there where we didn't have any Aussies, but when we have an Aussie at the club, it just makes me feel even more connected. Mark Schwarzer, Mark Viduka, Reese Williams, the list goes on. Riley McGree now, Scott McDonald back in the day as well. I mean, we had Vidmar as well back in the day. Like, it's just endless connections to Australia with the Borough. And obviously, just to this day, just still watching it. It's hard, obviously, when they dropped to the championship back in 2011, I think it was. When we dropped to the championship, we couldn't get much footage of the championship back in the day here in Australia. It's gotten better as the time goes on now, where I can sort of see some games and watch some pay TV games and stuff like that. I tend to, if I can't watch the game, listen to the audio. I always listen to BBC Tees as well. I love BBC Tees, love Maddo, and obviously The Voice, Ali Brownlee, back in the day, listening to him as well. I hope that sort of wraps up to you. A few of you that a lot of people ask me where my love and support comes from. I hope that sort of gives you a thing. I hope you enjoyed the pictures of my game time there as well. It was a game we lost, and I have on my bucket list always dreamt of going back to the Riverside one day and watching the mighty Boro. When that will be, I'm not too sure. The prices, the flights, getting my family and myself over there one day is just would be an absolute dream to see the Boro again before I die and go to that amazing town and have a Parmo and just show my wife, who I didn't go with back in the day, the club and town that I love, to absolute death. I hope that sort of clarifies for you, and you enjoyed the story. Let me know in the comments below what your story is, because I'd love to hear it, especially meeting all the other fans from around the world that aren't located in Middlesbrough, what their story is and how they're connected to the club and how much we just love this mighty club of ours. On to Sheffield United tonight. We've got, if you're watching this back later down the track, we're playing Sheffield United tonight. Middlesbrough currently third, playing the team in second. I'm hella nervous. It's about 5 a.m. my time, but I ain't going to get much sleep, so we're going to sit here and watch it or listen to it if we can. That's true. I also stream on Twitch. Part of the whole sort of me making myself online is streaming on Twitch. I try and do that 6 days a week. I'm kind of UK friendly. I kind of go in the live in your morning time or in the afternoon. So if you can come follow me on Twitch, it definitely helps me and keeps me going. But obviously, no, you don't have to. But listen, all the love, all the support, all the Boro fans that have come across, all the love, especially from Middlesbrough and sitting down with Riley McCree. If nothing ever happens again, everything I've achieved so far was just beyond my wildest dreams, and I'll just never forget it. And I can't thank you enough. And even if I don't put another video out, I'll always love Middlesbrough to the day I die. I love each and every one of you. Thank you so much for your time tonight. Up the Boro, up the Riley McGree, up the Aussies. I'm predicting a 1-0 win to the Boro tonight. I am. Riley McGree's going to score it because he's in the form of his life. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, guys. Tell a friend about the channel. It helps me grow as I try and put out as much content as I can. Finding my way in this new online world is as best that I can. I hope you liked my honesty, the little sit-down chat, something a little bit different. You enjoyed the photos, and I love each and every one of you. Up the Boro, on to Sheffield United, big win. All right, I think so. Woo!